Stevie. Stevie. Stevie Clark. Welcome back, guys, to the channel. We're in the middle, an international break, and by God, one game down, one to go. How is Scotland still in with a chance? Seriously. Now, I mean, I used to review Scotland games on this channel, but I'll just be upfront about it. Steve Clark absolutely depresses me. Watching this depresses me. Talking about it depresses me. Now here, I still refute over on Fog Football with Son of Scotland, Jambo Bear, whatever you want to call him, but the thought of doing it twice is absolutely insane. But it would be wrong not to talk about the upcoming game against Denmark and address what just happened the other day, because here, for the first time in my lifetime, for the first time in a lot of people's lifetime, for the first time since a lot of people were probably kids, and regardless, no matter what way you spin it, man, if you're a pensioner now, or you're 50 or 60 or 40 or whatever, man, the last time we qualified for a World Cup, it was more than a generation ago. I mean, 1998, I was 2 years off being born, so make no mistake about it, this is fucking massive, alright? France 98, how about the Americas 26, huh? Doesn't quite have the same fucking ring to it, I'll tell you that, but tell you what doesn't have the same ring to it. Shea Adams up front. What's going on what's going on with Shea Adams, guys? Honestly, never really rated the guy. Always said Shankland should start over Shea Adams. There's this myth, right, that Shea Adams offers this pressing game that no one can offer for us. I mean, I'm going to disagree. I mean, can he do it more than Shankland? Yes, I'm not going to sit here and say he can't, right? But that we are noticing a pattern now where we're starting games brutal, right, under Clark. Not that we ever were particularly great, by the way, but you get my point. Where there's no pressure on the opposition, and defensively we're so weak. And honestly, it just comes across as like a lack of effort, and that these players can't be arsed. And trust me, I'm an expert in that field. Watching Rangers so far this fucking season, and the months before, etc., etc. When it comes to absolute shite defending and no effort and intensity going forward, I know, man. I know what it's all about, and so do so many of us. I mean, honestly, Clark just is so stuck in his ways. How were we taking on Greece? Right, Greece are out. We need a draw to get over the line, and they're the team that look like they can be arsed. And I mean, I'm seeing people bash Robertson, people defend Robertson. I'm definitely a Robertson basher. I've never really rated the guy, I'll be honest. I mean, see, like 6-7 years ago, maybe even less than that, the guy was considered one of the best left backs in the world, and can't really dispute that. He's a part of a Liverpool team that was easily one of the best teams in the world, winning Champions Leagues, titles, etc., etc. Right, you name it. He will ever have his name etched in Liverpool history. That Jurgen Klopp era, etc., etc. Try to help transform that club. But I've always thought Robertson's been shite for us, by the way. And I seen a tweet where someone's like, he's a mouse of a man. He only ever looked good because he had Van Dijk bailing him out after all his mistakes for Liverpool. And the more you think it, man, we don't have a Van Dijk, but look at some of that defending last night. When does Andy Robertson ever step up for us? People he never goes missing. I think he goes missing all the time in a Scotland shirt. But another key thing is, you don't see us play for a couple of months, so the decline's going to be more apparent. For Liverpool, anyone who plays for the club, getting older, etc., etc., you see them week to week, right? You see the decline's not really as evident. But, for example, after this international break, we won't see these players until March. Right, and here, I'm not saying none of us are ever going to watch a Liverpool game until March, but you get my point. In terms of Scotland, it's that period of time there, a player who's getting older can decline massively. But I've just never really rated Robertson. It's when you think of us for about the past decade almost, if our team if we get brought up right in conversation, whoever Ukraine, Poland, Israel, Norway, whatever, they're going to be like, all right, who's the danger man for Scotland? They're all going to say Andy Robertson. Oh, he plays for Liverpool, man. He's good. I've just never felt watching a Scotland game that here, this guy is going to grab this game by the scruff of the neck and carry us to. I mean, I think we've had a few over like the past bunch of years, like the likes of McGinn, McTominay. I do think they've went those two, especially McGinn's went missing a wee bit in recent times, but can't accuse them of not dragging us to. And it doesn't always have to be about goal scoring, but yeah, I thought I needed to address that about Andy Robertson. I've never really rated the guy as highly as other people have rated him, but he's looking fucking mint. I mean, I think this is the most damning thing you can say about Robertson. The guy plays for Liverpool, right? And he looked on an equal playing field as John Souttar and Grant Hanley in that game against Greece. And obviously, we know what most people think of Souttar and Hanley. So that's not a good thing, Robbo. I'll tell you that for free. Moving on, though, to Steve Clarke. I said in the Fog Football Review, nothing sums up Steve Clarke more than backing Belarus over his own nation, because essentially what he did in that game was, Belarus are beating Denmark in Copenhagen. Alright, we'll bring on Ralston and McKenna. I mean, seriously. And this isn't me, Ralston's shite because he plays for Celtic and McKenna's no... I don't think McKenna's that bad, right? And you know what, Tony Ralston, don't really particularly rate the guy, but he is one of the few fit right backs we've got, so he more than merits the spot, if we're being honest, with all the injuries. But at the same time, it's like, we needed goals. We were in the ascendancy, and because that news filter he brings on Shankland, he brings on Dykes, Hurst so fucking late into the game, and I mean, we were playing against Greece, were on the ropes, even though we were on. I mean, I've never honestly, man, I can't say I've never experienced it, right? But when was the last time there was a game where you should have lost, you should have won, you needed a draw, you didn't even get a draw, and you needed an impossible result to go your way in the other game if you lost, and it happened. But then you're thinking, because that happened, we really needed to win to benefit for Denmark drawing. I mean, crazy. That honestly, man, that like 10-15 minute spell where they went 3-0 up Greece and we brought back the 3-2 and Belarus went through 1-0 down to 2-1 up. I don't recall. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be as iconic as Aguero or whatever, man. Helicopter Sundays of the past, all these fucking late winners and etc. Of course it's not, but it was a weird period of football that on Saturday night. It was surreal watching it. And then you've got the commentator saying, just to make matters worse for Scotland, Belarus have made it 1-each. It's like, hold on here. It's exactly what we fucking needed, so you need to reel that right in. Anyway, I'm going to go back to eating this pot noodle, chicken mushroom. What about Steve Clarke puts in his fucking pot noodle? Boy, vodka instead of water. Anyway, Stevie Clarke, get the job done against Denmark, man. Come on.